Hey, beautiful people. This is Sade Y. Adu, personal brand strategist, speaker, coach, founder of SadeYadu.com, where we help women entrepreneurs brand their greatness and profit from their brilliance. And today we are on Brand on Blab. This is like the second one of the month where we blab about branding, and we have the one, the only, I call her the Facebook ads fairy, Miss Julie Lowe. Julie Lowe has years of experience in social media. She's a social media strategist and the founder of Socially Aligned. So if you're not following her on Facebook, if you're not following her, you need to follow her. This is someone you need to know. You've been asking about Facebook ads, and voila, we made it happen, peeps. So make sure you're tweeting this out. Do me a huge favor. Tweet this out and invite your Facebook followers. Why? Because I know they want to know about Facebook ads. So invite your Facebook followers, invite your Periscope friends, let people know what we're doing and what we're talking about. She has over 16 years of experience in this industry of marketing and advertising. And she used to work for a digital marketing. She was a digital marketing manager of a multi-million-dollar e-commerce business. Okay? Million. Okay? Multi-million. Currently, and this is the thing, I don't know if anyone else has done this, but she has created over 2,000 Facebook ads. Over 2,000 Facebook ads, and has coached hundreds of entrepreneurs like me and you to have converting Facebook ads that make bank, and Facebook ads that don't just spend our money. Okay. She's also partnered with huge industry leaders. This is what I need you guys to be doing. So on Periscope, you have hearts. You give hearts. On Blab, you give props. So I need you to give Julie some props. Okay. Invite your followers, tweet it out. Make sure you're giving Julie some prop love, okay? Give her the props. I should have my Blab shirt on. I don't have it on right now. It's on the floor. I'll see if I can find it. Some of the industry experts that she has worked with Kimra Luna. She has worked with Melanie Duncan. She's also been featured in the Female Entrepreneurship Association with
Carrie Green.
It was on the tip of my tongue. I get Carrie's emails every Tuesday. I enjoy them.
She's awesome.
She has helped entrepreneurs around the world with Facebook ads. She is truly a Facebook ads expert. She was also named the top 50 Facebook ads experts to follow by Epic Presence. Top 50. What does that mean? There's a billion people on Facebook. To be the top 50 of anything on Facebook is huge. So you have the opportunity to connect and talk to a Facebook ads expert. So without further ado, her goal is to make Facebook ads accessible, so they're no longer stressful and mysterious to you and I. So without further ado, I want you to give Julie Lowe some prop love, show her some props, and say hello to the one and only Miss Julie Lowe, founder of Socially Aligned. Thank you so much, Julie.
What an introduction. I think that's my best one yet. And I do a lot of interviews.
Special.
I know. I do too.
We got to keep it memorable here on Blab.
I know, right?
So the peeps are saying hello. So tell me, how did you get into Facebook ads? Like, what made you say, okay, I want to be an expert in Facebook ads?
Well, I really started for my job for that multi-millionaire company that you were talking about. I started for my job, and I was learning for that. And that was like 6 years ago. And at the time, there weren't really any trainings to find on how to do Facebook ads and Power Editor. And I would just about be in tears, trying to figure it out. And was just kind of, trying to figure it out randomly on my own. And it was such a struggle. So once I got good at it and then realized how many other people were struggling with it, I thought, okay, it wasn't that I necessarily was like, my dream in life is to teach Facebook ads, but I really wanted to help entrepreneurs. I love entrepreneurs even before I was one. And I thought, okay, here's something people are really struggling with. And if I can keep somebody else from wasting their money and having so much struggle, then that's what I want to do. So I've been doing it for quite a while now. And after talking to so many people, I feel like I've, gotten pretty good at answering any of the questions. So I'm happy to be here tonight.
Awesome. What I want you guys to do is please feel free to ask Julie questions. This is going to be your opportunity and chance to get some of those Facebook ads questions cracked. Get the code cracked now. So start typing in your questions. What you do on Blab is you want to do //Q. /Q will put your questions in the queue so that they will display on the interface so we can see the questions. If you put them on the side, I'll also look at the side of the chat. But if you put /Q, we'll be able to see them and broadcast them for everyone to see. So don't forget to do that throughout this broadcast and invite more of your followers, tweet it out, and let people know on Facebook that we're talking about Facebook ads. So how did you get into working? So you left the company that you were working with. How did you get into working with other entrepreneurs and specifically on their Facebook ads?
Yeah, so I kept the full-time job for about a year and a half while I was getting socially aligned off the ground. And at first I was trying to help with everything. I fell into that problem of trying to help everyone with everything. And then I decided to kind of niche down because the thing that people were coming to me for the most was questions with Facebook ads. So I did everything a little bit backwards. I started with group programs, then I had a digital class for Power Editor, which is really just one of the interfaces to build Facebook ads. And as I started getting more and more questions about that, I started doing one-on-one coaching, and I love it. So I spend a lot of my time on the phone or on sessions with people, answering questions, helping people get their ads up and running, kind of testing and tweaking and doing targeting.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. For someone, this is a big question. People are nervous to spend money on Facebook ads. For a newbie to Facebook ads, what advice would you give them? And what should we be spending our money on with Facebook ads? So there's a two-part question. What advice would you give the newbies to Facebook ads?
I know it's a little scary to start investing. I mean, I started kind of playing with someone else's money because I was doing it in a corporate position. So I know even for me, like when I went over to do it for myself, for my own business, it's makes you a little nervous because especially when you're getting started, you don't have a big budget to play with and you want to make sure your budget goes as far as possible. So I would say just start slow and just make sure that you're really clear on what your goals are with the Facebook ads, because there's so much you can do with Facebook ads. But if you don't know what those goals are, you could very easily lose money. You want to be very dialed in on who your audience is too. There's a lot of ways to do research on Facebook ads. So make sure that you're dialed in on that audience, and then you really just have to start testing. But as far as the types of ads that you could start doing, I would say the top ones are going to be if you have a really small following on Facebook, you can do page-like ads to grow your following. Some people have mixed opinions on that. Not everybody loves to do page-like ads, but it can be a cheap and easy way to grow that following so that you have a little bit of, credibility and a presence on Facebook. So that's one option. The other thing I would recommend is if you're good on video and you want to get some cheap branding and exposure, try Facebook video ads. That can be a really good way to get started affordably if you're on a tight budget. You can get views for a penny. 1 to 3 cents is pretty common for a Facebook video ad. So if you're really just after branding, exposure, getting in front of people, Facebook ads is a really great way to go whenever you're great on video. It can also help grow that, know, like, trust factor that we're all after. So give that one a try. And the other thing that I would, of course, recommend is growing your list on Facebook. I'm a big believer in list building. Even if you're in the phase of business where you're really just doing one-on-one work, you're trying to get consultations, get people on the phone, whether you're doing that or you're ready to go for scale. Maybe you have digital products and it's all about a numbers game where you need to scale up with numbers. Either way, list building is a really good way to do that. And you can get leads on Facebook ads for anywhere from $1 to $2 is very common.
Julie speaking my language. The first question I should have asked, because all of my clients that are on are like list building, credibility, branding, all of these things I say to you guys all the time. And they're giving me props because they're like, oh, someone else is saying the same things too. Sade's not crazy, people. I know what I'm talking about sometimes. So what I want to say, why should people invest in Facebook ads? So you gave us some of the things that we could do with them, but what is the biggest reason people should invest in Facebook ads today?
Well, I think it's one of the easiest ways to control your exposure. So some of the things that we do on social media, it's sort of like you're hoping like build it and they will come. You're hoping that you'll put this content out on your blog and people will find it somehow, that maybe you'll master SEO or pick up some followers on Blab or Twitter or Facebook, but you don't have a lot of control. So to me, Facebook is a way, as an entrepreneur, it can be a little scary and it can seem a little uncertain at times. But if you want to take control of your business destiny, I think Facebook ads is a way to do that, because you do have the control and the power there. You can decide who you want to get in front of. You can decide the budget, how much you're willing to invest to get that exposure. And while it can feel like a little bit of a gamble, if you educate yourself so that you know what you're doing, it's not quite as much of a gamble. Yes, there's testing, but you have a little bit more power there. And it can be a great investment, or good, really good return on your investment.
Awesome. Getting that return on investment. So we have some great questions. Kwanzaa is a Facebook ads user. She's asking some amazing questions. And she says, Julie, can you explain the metric average cost per conversion and how I can assess the efficiency of it, the efficacy of the ad?
Yeah, so cost per conversion. So conversion is whatever goal you're optimizing for. Usually if you're doing something like list building, average cost per conversion is talking about how much did it cost you to get somebody onto your list. So you could even optimize for something like sales. So a conversion could be a sale. You get to decide what a conversion is. But if you're doing list building, if you're, if you have a freebie, or if you're doing a webinar and you're driving traffic to it and you're getting conversions, then if it says, $1.50 cost per conversion, that means it costs you $1.50 to get a person onto your list on average. There's some great reporting in Facebook, right in the ads manager. You can see down to age, gender, country, and placement. So were they on desktop or mobile? Or even Instagram. You can do Instagram ads straight out of the Power Editor in Facebook. So they'll tell you how well you're doing by, demographics and placements. And then you can make some decisions about, okay, am I doing good at driving traffic? Am I doing good at getting signups? And what exactly is it costing me? So you can do the math and see what that return on the investment is.
That is a great question. I want to add to that. Facebook, I call Facebook Big Brother, because Big Brother is watching everything that you do, the things that you like, the comments that you make, the messages that you post. Facebook is calculating and analyzing every single thing that we do. As a consumer, that you may not like that, but as an entrepreneur, it is amazing because Facebook has top-notch analytics. I know where my people are, the ages of the people that like me, that like my post or like my fan business page. You really have, Facebook even has information about how much money people make. I don't know how they estimate this. Maybe based on what you said you bought or what you like, but Facebook, even you can discriminate based on pay bracket or pay scale, how much you think people make. So Facebook is really developing or collecting a lot of information on us, and you can use it to your advantage as an entrepreneur. As a consumer, you may be a little nervous, but as an entrepreneur, it definitely is beneficial.
Yeah, in some ways it seems creepy, like when an ad is following you around or something like that. But for the most part, I like the fact that I'm getting content that's more relevant to me based on my behavior. For the, the income levels and things, that's based on third-party data, companies that Facebook is affiliated themselves with. So like credit card companies, if you've ever filled out a credit app or anything like that, that's how they're getting the income. I don't know exactly how accurate it is. It's supposed to be private still. It's not supposed to be where they know exactly like Julie makes this much money, that kind of a thing. But yeah, when you think about it as an advertiser, it's amazing. You can target by interest. So pages people are fans of, but you can also target by general categories like yoga versus a specific yoga page, a fan page. And you can even target, careers that people have. What's their job title? Are they married? Are they single? Are they engaged? So, just think if you were like a bridal photographer or something, what you could do with that. You can even target down a zip code. So yeah, it's amazing. And they even know, because of pixels, which I noticed was asked about too, they know where we're on the web off of Facebook too, if someone is an advertiser and has pixels. So it's amazing what you can find out. To answer the question about pixels, it's a really complicated question as far as how exactly they work, detail wise. But the big picture answer is a pixel is really just a little bit of code that you put on your site. So they can be used for a couple of things. They can be used for retargeting. So when I mentioned can be a little creepy when a Facebook ad, follows you around. If you go over to Amazon and you check out a coat and then you go back to Facebook and you're like, oh my God, that's the coat I was just looking at. It's a retargeting pixel. Amazon has it on there, and that's how they serve you ads based on what you've been looking at. And you can do that too. It's not just something for big companies like Amazon. It can be really effective. I have opt-ins on my website, and sometimes people they read my blog post, and they don't necessarily opt in for my stuff. But I can retarget my site visitors, show them my freebie, and then get in front of them again, and I have really huge opt-in rates on that. So that can be really good. Like I said, it's just a little bit of code. It's real simple, copy paste. You put it on your site. You can use it for that or to track your conversions. And that's kind of the simple answer as far as pixels go.
There's another question from Sarah. How do you go from being employee to starting group coaching programs and individual programs? So employee to entrepreneur.
Oh, yeah. Baby steps, really. I started getting involved in Facebook groups where a lot of entrepreneurs were hanging out. When I first started Socially Aligned, I really didn't necessarily go in with the intention of quitting my job. I didn't, grow up seeing myself as a future entrepreneur. And honestly, it almost scared me. The word was a little intimidating to me. Oh, I'm not an entrepreneur. I can't run a business. But I really just started with the intention of wanting to help people. I went to a social media conference and fell in love with entrepreneurs and the idea that I could help these amazing people that are trying to start businesses for themselves. And I thought, wow, I have all this stuff that I know how to do that I'd learned from my job. And I thought, wouldn't it be awesome if I could help more people instead of just this one company? And so I really just went into it with the intention of how can I help people with what I already know? So I started the blog, and I started kind of baby steps. I was doing subcontracted work, and then I got a coach, and I decided to start coaching programs. And I just started working with people. And then as you start working with people, you see what works, what people really need. And I think it just all kind of evolved from there. I've been doing this for a couple of years now. And I think you just have to kind of start before you're ready and go in with the intention of wanting to help and seeing what people really need help with and kind of giving them what they want.
Huge words. Start solving a problem. That's one of the things that you want to start a business that actually solves a problem. And starting. Most people are afraid to start. So starting before you're ready, solving a problem, and somehow, some way, figuring it out as you go. You won't have all the answers immediately, but you have to start. You have to try. That's going to be extremely important in whichever business you start. And then also seeking out mentorship and hiring a coach. So there's so many coaches that work with new coaches. I work with women entrepreneurs who want to build their brands, but there are coaches that work specifically with entrepreneurs who want to leave their jobs and start coaching programs. So that may be something that someone on this Blab may be able to directly help you with, or we can brainstorm and find someone who can help you. If it's not me, definitely someone. I know this is amazing. Me. Danielle said that's what she does. The Blab community is very helpful and very responsive. So Sarah definitely has some help in the comments, or we can figure it out. There's plenty of people that are willing to help. So the next question I saw was for me. How did I get 1,000 people in 30 days? Now I'll tell you, it was less than that. I don't know when it happened. It was less than 30. I forgot. I think I sent Julie a testimonial about how many people we got in 7 days. It may have been about 500 or something like that in just 7 days with Facebook ads. I don't know what happened. I know it was something about copy. Something about
it's that fairy godmother thing.
And the actual aesthetic of the ad. So can you tell us a little bit about the components of a Facebook ad?
Yeah, I mean, sort of what you mentioned, there are so many components. A lot of it has to do with having strong copy that's really focused on your target audience and what do they want? What are their pain points? What is going to grab them? Because people are on Facebook to have fun and to connect with their friends and their family. They're not necessarily there to be sold to. It's not like Google where someone has search intent, they're typing something in that they're after. But because of the awesome targeting capabilities on Facebook, if you surface the right content at the right time, you can grab their attention, but you have to get their attention and focus on what's in it for them and talk about the problem that they have that you can solve. And if you can do that, you can grab their attention. So usually the things that are going to make the biggest difference in getting that attention are going to be the image that you use needs to, stop them from scrolling. A really strong headline that's focused on those benefits, tell them who it's for, what's in it for them, and supporting copy. Give them enough details to get them to click. You don't have to give them all the details, but you got to hook them in with a compelling, call to action, and then drive them over to a really strong landing page that gives them enough information so that it's a no-brainer to go ahead and proceed and sign up for whatever you've got, whether that's a freebie or a webinar, or, sometimes you're just promoting your blog content. You're just making that connection, giving them free value. But regardless, don't be so focused on you. It's not about you. It's about them and how you can help them. And then, of course, the targeting. If you're not getting in front of the right people, you don't have a chance, because the value really and truly lives in the client. And so, it could be a great piece of content, but if it gets in front of the wrong person, it's not going to have any value to them. So you got to make sure you really dial in your targeting.
So what I would also say is, knowing your audience, you have to know where your audience hangs out online, mm-hmm. what they're reading, what they like, what other influencers that they follow. All of that is extremely important when you are marketing on Facebook or mm-hmm. in marketing and branding in general. You need to know your audience. So Facebook ads, being successful on having a successful Facebook ad, for me, in my opinion, boils down to knowing your audience. Knowing what your audience is willing to click on before they click on it. Mm-hmm. What's the difference between a normal Facebook ad to a dark post?
Yeah, a dark post is really just another phrase for an unpublished post. So what you can do, it's like the difference between hitting boost post and creating an ad. So there, you can do the equivalent in Power Editor, but some ads start out as post on your page. That's one way. It wouldn't be considered dark because it went out to the public. It appeared on your fan page. But if you went over to Ads Manager or Power Editor and created an ad there from scratch, it never actually shows up on your Facebook page. So if somebody goes and they look on your page, they're not going to find that. It only shows up in the news feeds of people that you target. So that's why they call it a dark post, because it's unpublished on your page and it's like it's kind of out there in the ether, but you can't really track it down. It just services for the people that you're targeting. So a dark post, unpublished post is just an ad you do from scratch, basically.
Got it. Speaking of boosting posts, is this something that we should do?
If you had have asked me like a year or so ago, I would have been like, no, stay away from it. It's terrible. I've come around a little bit on it. They have their time and their place. So boost post, I always call it the gateway drug for Facebook ads, because it's like that tempting little thing sitting there trying to get you to click. So it's like the dead simple way to get started with Facebook ads. It used to be completely pointless because you couldn't do any targeting. You had almost no control over it. So I'd tell you to stay away from it. Now I even use it sometimes, but only when I have a very specific purpose of I just want to get more reach, more engagement. I still make sure I target the boost post, but I'm not necessarily trying to drive traffic per se, and definitely not trying to get conversions whenever I hit boost post. I usually only do this when I have a blog post that I just want, more reach and engagement to my own Facebook fans, or maybe to my email list that I've uploaded to Facebook, and I can target my subscribers on Facebook. So I'm still, trying to drive the traffic over to my blog, but the main thing is I just want more eyeballs on it. And that is the whole purpose of a boost post, is you want more reach, more engagement, and you're not optimizing necessarily to drive or convert traffic. So if that's your goal, go ahead and hit boost post. But if you're trying to get signups for something, then definitely get into Ads Manager, or preferably Power Editor, and optimize for those conversions.
The question is, what is the best cost per click you've ever had?
Well, the answer is I don't actually care so much about cost per click in most of my ads, because I'm optimizing for conversions. So I would pay $10 per click if that was getting me the conversion that I wanted. I've gotten as cheap as, I believe I have a client ad running right now for 14 cents, maybe 14 cents per click. But for the most part, I'm not really optimizing just to drive traffic. For my own personal ads, I'm optimizing to get conversions. I believe the cheapest conversion cost I've gotten is, I want to say like 45 cents, something like that. I've gotten some pretty low ones. But for the most part, like I said, my ads are generally to get signups. So I don't even look. I'm really concerned about how good of a job is the ad doing at driving traffic. So what's that click-through rate, the percentage of people that are clicking the link in the ad and going to the page I'm trying to send them to? And then what's it costing me to grow my list? What's my cost per conversion? So I basically only look at it when my main goal for the ad is just getting the click. So I hope that helps.
Awesome. These are great questions. I think there was another golden nugget hidden in there about uploading your list to Facebook.
Yeah, I love that. So I use it for two reasons. So you can actually download a CSV file from any email service provider should allow you to do that. MailChimp, Infusionsoft, wherever you use. You download the list and then you go into your Facebook audiences area in the ads manager and you can upload that CSV file and then you'll have this audience of subscribers. So you could do a couple of things with this. Number one, you could get in front of them again because let's face it, our inboxes are crazy and not everybody is going to read every single one of your emails, no matter how awesome you are. So get in front of them again. I did this the other day and somebody actually said, oh my God, I saw your email the other day and I didn't have time to read it. I'm so glad that you ran this ad. So I read it because they enjoyed the post. The other thing you could do is if you're focusing on list building, you can exclude your subscribers. So you're not doubling up on them and wasting your money. So I don't want to try to get my current subscribers to sign up for something. I've already paid for them to be on my Infusionsoft. So I exclude them anytime I'm doing list building. And then the other cool thing you can do is you can create a lookalike audience of your subscribers. So if somebody has, bothered to sign up for your list, they're pretty good, future lead, right? They're a pretty good source. Facebook can actually take a look at your subscribers, take a look at a list, and they can say, okay, I'll find you more people like them. So they go out and they find more people like the people on your list. They give you this nice big, like 2 million person audience. And then you can hone it in even more because we're like, I don't know exactly how Facebook decided these people are similar. So you can say, okay, Facebook considers them similar, but they also have to like, Facebook advertising, or they have to be an entrepreneur or like marketing. I can narrow it down to make sure that I qualify that list that Facebook has built. So yeah, that and retargeting your site traffic are going to be a couple of the best audiences that you have.
Awesome. I have a question about retargeting. That's my question, but I can ask that later. My question is about retargeting. How does retargeting work? I'm so confused about it. And I'm like, why didn't I ask this earlier? I'll ask about retargeting, then we'll get to Sean's question about other platforms and other ads.
Yeah. So retargeting, again, goes back to those pixels. So it's just a little bit of code and I'm cookies on websites where they know that you've been to the website and, it does something on your end where they can track you a little bit. So you put that little piece of code that Facebook gives you, super simple. You just create it and copy paste it, put that code on there. And then you build an audience that just says, I want to target all of my, site visitors. And then Facebook builds an audience of people that are visiting your website. And then you can target that specific audience that is your website visitors. And you can retarget all of your site visitors. Or if you get a ton of traffic, you could actually get more specific and say, I want to target people that went to specific pages. So like maybe they went to your webinar sign up page, but they did not sign up. So you could say, I want to target people that went to the sign up page, but they did not go to the thank you page. So they didn't sign up. So you can get kind of ninja.
You can put the copy on the pixel on the page, not the thank you page, and have them see the ad again. The retargeting pixel on that page. and have
you can do it by URL. So you can say they went to this URL, that's the sign up page, but they did not hit this URL, that is the thank you page. And that's how you know they went, but they didn't sign up.
Do you see why we have a Facebook ads expert? Because there's like these little nuances to Facebook ads. And I tell people all the time that there's just like, so you just got to ask someone, because I didn't know.
Yeah, there's a lot you can do.
Now, because we're using this in the next launch.
Yeah, and if you have a ton of traffic, it can really be good. But regardless, even if it's a small traffic, just put a little budget on it, and you can get in front of them again.
We're going to ask about money, because everyone's going to want to know how much money should they spend on ads. So I'm going to hold that question for a second so we can get to Sean's question. How does the cost per conversion on Facebook compare to Google ads, or even Twitter ads, or Instagram ads? How does Facebook compare with its other social media platforms?
I've honestly done very, very, very little with Google PPC. I did it for a tiny bit at my old job. I can tell you that we were getting better cost per conversion, and that was for travel industry. So we were actually going direct to sales most of the time and selling, multi-thousand, several $1,000 travel packages. But we were getting better results with Facebook ads. So we shifted most of the budget to Facebook and off of Google PPC. I don't know the exact cost, and I don't personally do Google PPC ads, so I'm afraid I can't speak to that. I have done Instagram ads. Like I said, you can do that right in the Facebook interface. I've gotten results that are comparable to or comparable to my Facebook ad costs. I have some clients that actually do better with Instagram ads than Facebook. So I think it depends, of course, a little bit on your audience and whether or not they're, hanging out in Facebook versus Instagram. So I'd say definitely give Instagram ads a shot. I've played a little bit with Twitter ads. Personally, my own ads didn't do very well. I have a friend that's brilliant at them, Adrienne Richardson. She does Twitter ads for some of her clients and has seen some great results. I think in some cases they can be a little bit more expensive, but it really and truly, again, it goes back to the audience and just how good are you doing at driving that traffic? Are they hanging out there? But I feel like Twitter is a little bit, to me at least, was a little bit harder to dial in, but I have limited experience in it. So,
is there a particular industry that's doing the best with Facebook ads?
Honestly, I have yet to come across one that just totally bombed. Some run a little more expensive than others. I work with a ton of business coaches, health coaches, life coaches, and they all can get conversion cost, down usually under $2. Every once in a while, I have somebody that, for whatever reason, their particular ideal client is trending a little higher. I think I've yet to have somebody go, stay over $4. We can usually get a lead cost under that. Most people I've got are under $2 a lead. And like I said, that's a lot of the coaching industry in some form or fashion. Copywriters, mix of people, but usually we can get you down under $2 a lead.
So how much should we entrepreneurs, whether you're starting out or you really want to increase your visibility, how much money should we be spending on Facebook ads? Like a monthly budget, how much of our budget should be investing in Facebook ads? Or if we're launching, maybe during a launch season, how much money? How much do I need to put to the side?
Yeah, I mean, you can, if you're on a tighter budget, you could do as little as $10 a day and at least be getting slow and steady results. I don't think you necessarily need to go big right away. I think you're better off kind of testing things slowly. I tend to be a little bit more conservative. I'll start with a smaller ad budget, like $10 a day on an ad set. And then once I see it's working well, I scale up. And then it's kind of up to you how much testing you want to do at any given time. But what you can do is kind of work backwards from your goals. So if like I want to add 1,000 people to my list this month, okay, well, average cost per lead, I would say about $2. Hopefully we can get you to $2. Some people, I've got some clients that were getting sub $1 leads right now. $1.50 is kind of average for a lot of industries, but let's assume that you're at least, you know, I wouldn't say worst case because anything under $2 is great, but let's say it was $2 a lead. Well, if you want 1,000 leads, $2,000 bucks.
I'll tell you, it wasn't $2,000.
Yeah, yeah,
oh.
yeah. So you know, hopefully, but let's just say worst case that it costs, you know, $2 a lead, then you're looking at 2,000. So you can always work backwards from your goals. Or if you know, like, okay, whenever I do a webinar, if I can get 100 people to show up live, I tend to convert 50%, you know. So if I want to get, you know, 50 sales, I got to get 100 people on live. If you know your attendance rates, you know, just keep working backwards from the numbers. If you're like, okay, to get 100 on live, I got to get 200 to sign up. Okay, so it cost me $400 to get 400 leads. You know, so just work backwards from your goals anytime you can. Or another method I've seen people do is, okay, I've got a $2,000 program. If I can get at least one sale on my program from this webinar, I've made my money back. If I can get two, I've made money. So invest $2,000 into your ads, and then if you get even one sale, you've broken even and grown your list in the meantime. So that's another method I've seen people use.
So it's all about your goals, whether you want to break
it really is.
You want to convert people, and depending on how much it is, how much you're willing to spend.
Yeah. And you can, like I said, you can do baby steps. Like whenever I got started with my business, I didn't have a lot of money to invest. Here I was great at Facebook ads, but I didn't have the capital to invest. So I did everything free that I could. And then I took a small budget and set it aside and just, you know, whatever you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable with $100 a month, if you're comfortable with $50 a month, that's fine. Just start testing. And what you can do is if you only have $50, run an ad for $10 a day for 5 days. It's something. You've done some testing, you've learned something, you've grown your list. It's a start. So even if your budget isn't big, get started. Don't feel like you have to invest a fortune, and just keep learning from whatever you're doing. That's the big thing.
Exactly. You have to test it out. How many ads do you think we should be testing out?
Well, I think one of the big things to test is your audience. So that's going to be at your ad set level. And I'm referring to Power Editor because that's my favorite way to do Facebook ads, because you have more control. You can write longer copy, that sort of thing. So you could have, I would test at least 2 audiences if you're able. So you could do $20 a day, 2 audiences that you're testing. And then if one's not doing well, turn it off and test something else. But test at least 2 audiences if you can. And then as far as the number of ads go, literally, you can do basically like a split test. And I would test at least 2 ads. So test 2 different photos, because sometimes what we think is going to work the best does not work the best. You sometimes are surprised by the photos that work. And then you could also test 2 versions of your copy. So longer copy versus shorter copy, bullet points versus kind of storytelling. So test a couple versions of your copy and your images and see what works. And Facebook really makes it easy to do this testing. So to one audience, you could have 2 ads kind of battling it out and see which one does the best.
Awesome. So Vicki, we're trying to get Vicki to come in. The seat is open. If you're able to get into the seat, hop in and ask your questions live. We'll be wrapping up in 20 minutes. I'm surprised. Let's see, Bukola. I know Bukola had some questions. Let's see if we can get her in. Let's see if not Facebook, if Blab will allow her to come in. I know she had some questions about Facebook ads. Bukola, if you can't come in, write them on the side and we'll make sure that we answer them for you. I know some people ask questions on Facebook. I'm going to see if I can find them. We've been having some issues with the seat. Let's see if Spy Gadget can get in. Let's see who's going to be our guest. Oh, great. We can't hear you. Let's see the sound.
Okay, you there?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, let me turn this mic off on my computer. Get rid of the echo. Okay, you there?
Yes.
Okay, I'm running some Facebook ads. Are you guys in a position to take a look at an actual ad and analyze it or not?
Unfortunately, with Blab, there's no screen share.
Yeah, well, if I gave you the
One
link,
day there will
let me
be.
see. I guess it wouldn't show up properly. Can I show you a link or not to the ad?
If you have a way to show us your computer screen,
that's
one thing that they have not added.
Yeah, the ability to do a screenshot. Yeah, but you
if you have a
go ahead.
If you have a link, I can try to take a look.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I can find the link while I ask you the question.
So tell us what it's for. Oh, my Minicam will do that. So Anthony is saying Minicam.
Manicam.
Minicam. Some people are doing some fancier things with Periscope. With
Manicam.
Periscope and Blab, where they can split the screen and show
and
share their screen. I'm just not that tech savvy yet.
No, I haven't started using Manicam either. But maybe I'll try to find this ad. But what I'm trying to figure out is how do I attribute sales to my particular ad? How do you make the connection so you can determine whether or not the ad is actually producing, the results that you're getting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you can have more than one conversion pixel. So are you sending people direct to sales, or are you sending them to sign up for something and then trying to sell them afterwards?
That's a good question. I think we have a link going back to the website.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're sending the ad traffic over to buy something, you can put a conversion pixel on the thank you page, the page they hit after they check out.
Oh, okay.
So you can have multiple pixels. So what you would do is you would put a checkout conversion pixel on the page they hit after they've bought. So it's not like they just got into the cart and maybe they abandoned the cart. And then you associate that checkout pixel with your ad, because Facebook has to know that you want to use the pixel for the ad. They can't just figure that out, even if the pixel is installed. So you would turn that checkout pixel on the ad, and then Facebook would follow them through the process. And if they hit that thank you page, then they know that they've actually bought, because the only way that they could have hit that page is that they bought something from you. And that's how you would associate the checkout with the ad.
Okay, I think that's a link to the ad that I just put in there.
Let's see.
I don't know. Hopefully that's what customers will see. I'm still trying to figure this out.
Is it a video?
Yeah, it's a video. Yeah, it's a video, exactly. And let me see. I guess under the video, it says nanny camera renting. And I think, let me see, if you click on that link, you go to our Facebook page. Okay, that's what I'm doing. You go to our Facebook page, and then from there, you see information about the company, that big giant graphic.
Yeah, can I give you a tip?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so for video ads, this is really important for anybody doing video ads. There's a link that you can put on a video ad, but it does not show up till the very end of the video. Somebody has to watch 100% of your video to get to that link that you put in there. But what you can do is, you know how you have that copy above the video that says Spy Gadget Rentals,
let me
blah,
get
blah,
back
blah,
there.
has a phone number? You can put the link to wherever you want to send them in that text. And if you're doing video ads, I really highly recommend that you don't just put the link in the URL box that they give you. You want to make sure you put it in the text too, because a lot of people, they're not going to watch 100% of your video to have that URL pop
Okay, I'm sorry.
Where? So sure
I'm looking at the video right now, and you're saying I should put a link in the video somehow?
So you may have one at the end. Facebook gives you a chance to put in a link, but somebody would have to watch the whole video, and then at the end of the video, it pops up on top of the video. But where I want you to put it is, you see where you have your phone number.
You have
there. Spy Gadget Rentals. Yeah, put it up there in the text, and then that way somebody doesn't have to watch the whole video to click your link, and I'll make it a lot easier for them to click.
Isn't there a character limit? I think there was like 90 characters, right? That is it.
Yeah, that's why I love Power Editor, because they don't cut you off. Yeah, if you do it in Power Editor, they don't limit you so severely on your text, and that's how people get those really long posts.
Oh, really?
Is they use Power Editor. So I would use Power Editor, and then you could write a novel, and they're not going to cut you off. You can get your link in there. if you're not quite ready for Power Editor because it's a little bit harder to use, the other thing you could do is go to your Facebook page, upload the video straight to your Facebook page, type up all that text in the link, just like I told you, make it a regular Facebook post, then go over to Ads Manager and create an ad from the existing post.
Okay. Okay. So the ad would constantly reference that particular post, and I wouldn't have to worry about, even though the post would eventually go down, the ad is associated with that post. Okay. So whatever the particular post
and the cool
is.
Okay. Yeah. And the cool thing is, if people like it, comment, share, and everything, all that engagement keeps living on that post.
Oh, okay.
So that's going to be associated with the ad too.
Yeah.
So that's another cool thing. So it's okay if it goes down. You could always pin the post. You can make a post stay at the top of your page.
Oh, really?
So if you wanted it up there, you could.
Pin it up there?
But there's a little drop-down arrow in the right-hand corner. You can pin it, and it'll just stick it up to the top. But when you're doing advertising, you're targeting people, it's going to get in front of them anyway, so they don't have to go find it on your page. So I wouldn't worry too much about that.
But right now, the most simplest thing for me would probably be to use that editor, the Power Editor, and just put the URL at the top, probably, right? Mm-hmm. Because Power Editor it's not like very intuitive. It can be a little more complicated to use. So that's why I was suggesting maybe start with a page post and then turn it into an ad. But if you can get in there and figure out Power Editor, that would be the way that you can type something much longer, and you're not going to be so restricted. The last thing, can I ask one last question?
One last question.
All right, one last question. I got a daily budget, right? It's only like $5 or something because I'm experimenting. And so it seems like you reach that daily budget pretty quick depending upon the activity, right? Mm-hmm. So
it's based on reach. You're paying just for eyeballs to get in front of people.
So it's not necessarily a bad thing if you quickly go through your daily budget because there's a lot of people that are clicking on making impressions or something, right?
It just, it means that you've reached enough people that they cut you off. So if you say it's $5 a day, once they've spent that money to reach as many people as they can, they'll stop the ad. But it just means that you reach them.
Are you guys proficient? One or both of you guys are proficient at this? If I wanted to work with someone, because I got a few questions. I don't want to.
I am not the person.
Okay.
Okay.
That'd be
great.
me. Right. Yeah. I have classes, and then I also do one-on-one consulting and small group coaching programs for ads.
She is phenomenal. So if you want, she does have an opt-in about the 4 Facebook ads that entrepreneurs should be using and can be using. I just posted it in the box.
Oh, okay.
Definitely get it. So it breaks down the 4 ads that you can start using. And it has her contact information, and you can definitely connect with her. I've been on the mailing list for a while before I reached out. So definitely, she sends out emails every Sunday with a spotlight. Yeah. I always wanted to fill out the email, and I never did. Like I literally have it in a draft from probably a year ago. I'll do. Yeah,
I do. Yeah, I do this Sunday blog post where I feature other entrepreneurs because I love to kind of give back to the community and connect people. So some more serious questions about what you're doing in your business, and then some silly ones like if you had a superpower, what would it be?
And I couldn't figure out what my superpower would be, so I never send it in. I'll get on that. I'll think about it. But that's what happens. Consistency. She sends it out every Sunday. How do I know that? Because she sends it out every Sunday. Consistency, people. We talked about branding, consistency, knowing your audience, making investments, hiring a coach. All of these buzzwords that I say all the time, but you're getting them from other people too. So I'm glad we're reinforcing this good behavior. So consulting, yes, you can work with Julie. I just didn't want you guys to steal her prior to me working with her. Everyone's like, who is it? Who is it? And I've told a couple of people, and I know they've contacted you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So make sure you reach out to her to get the help that you need. My advice with Facebook ads at this point in the game is that either you need to invest in a Facebook ads course or someone who does Facebook ads, I would say full time. Like that needs to be their thing that they do. Yes, you can still see if you can hop in, Bukola, and we can get your question answered. So Kimberly asked about pixels. And she said, I thought you already have one. You only have to have one.
The new pixels. Yeah, they're the bane of my existence right now. So here's the deal with pixels. Facebook is rolling out a new pixel that's like the one pixel to rule them all. But it's been very glitchy, so I'm actually not recommending that my clients switch over to it just yet. We're not going to be forced to switch to it to the end of July. But everybody that's been using it, well, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of people that have been using the Pixel for conversion tracking are having issues. So I've actually been telling people just hold off, like use it for retargeting, but for conversion tracking, I'm still using the ones that say old, conversion tracking pixel old at the top of that area. You can use the new ones, but like I said, I'm getting a little tired of the glitchiness with them. So hold off for now. I'll make an announcement when I hear that they're doing better. But yeah, you can have the one. There are some like weird sub things that you can do for it. I actually have a $10 class. If anybody's really concerned with pixels, I have a $10 starter Facebook ads class. That would be a really good way to start with that. It talks about pixels and ads for list building. But you can either do the new pixel that is for both retargeting and conversion tracking, or you can stick with the old ones for now. And that's actually my recommendation until like this summer when Facebook gets it together on the pixel issue.
Can you post the link to the $10 class? Because that's what I'm just going to start telling people.
Yeah, all right.
Don't ask me. It's $10.
Yeah, it's a good way to get started because it's only $10, but it's one of those where I tried to like over deliver on value, so it's a no-brainer. It's everything you need to know to get an ad up and running, including the pixels, and I give you 2 guides, one for the old pixels and one for the new pixel. And even though I don't promise to keep it updated, I've actually updated it once already, even though it's a $10 class, because Facebook loves to change things.
Facebook changes all the time. So that is your solution. If you want to know more about Facebook ads, it's a $10 investment. 2 coffees at Starbucks.
Yeah.
Or a coffee and a snack. So make that investment. That's going to be huge. I want to make sure. So if you want, she does have one-on-one that you can work with her and get on her calendar to work on your Facebook ads. And you can also invest in her classes. So tell us a little bit more about your classes.
Yeah, so I have the $10 class that's specifically about Facebook ads for list building. And then if you want a more in-depth class and you want to know how to do reporting and all different kinds of ads, including video ads like we talked about, and ads optimized around other objectives, then I have a master class. So the Power Editor Master Class. So if you're ready for that, I do have that more in-depth class. They're both available all the time. You can sign up for the $10 class or the Power Editor Master Class at any point. They're just digital. Go at your own pace. There is also a Facebook group to support the Power Editor Master Class, which is kind of cool because you can ask me questions in there. And then I do the one-on-one coaching. And that's kind of whatever you need. It's customized to your needs as far as figuring out strategy, targeting, getting your ads up and running. So we do a screen share so I can guide you while you build your ads. So if you need a little hand holding, a little strategy talk, one-on-one is great for that. And then I also do the Facebook Ads Incubator. So that is 4 times a year. The next round opens in April. I only take 10 people at a time and it always sells out in a couple of days. I've done a couple of rounds of it. And that is for people that are like, okay, I don't just have a traffic problem. I need to figure out what's the perfect freebie. What do I need to be offering people to sign up for? And then what the heck do I do with a lead once I have it on my list? Because that's a common problem. People grow their list and then they don't get any sales because they don't know how to do a funnel and have follow-up. So the Ads Incubator is all about create that perfect opt-in offer, figure out your email follow-up so you can actually get you some sales, and let's get an ad up and running and get it tested during this small group program that goes for 6 weeks. So that's another option if you're ready to go all in April.
These are amazing. So we're wrapping up. If anyone else wants to get in the seat for the last 5 minutes, please feel free. But I have another question that I know will be beneficial to this audience that I forgot to ask you. So Julie has been aligned with so many influencers in this online digital space. And I want to know, well, how did you connect with these influencers and how did you become their go-to person for Facebook ads? Because there's definitely other people that do Facebook ads, but how did you become the go-to person? I know your Power Editor course is a part of Kimra Luna's class, Be True Brand You course. How, and I think I saw you, I may have been introduced to you through the Female Entrepreneurship Association. So how Entrepreneur Association, how did you get aligned with other influencers?
Well, Kimra, I met before she really took off. I knew her in a Facebook group, and
number one, know people before they get hot.
Yeah. So I knew her when we were both kind of getting started in a Facebook group, and we just became friends. And then we both started kind of growing. And I launched my digital class, the Power Editor Masterclass, and she was wanting to learn more about Facebook ads. This was before her first Be True Brand You launch. So she took my class. And she really liked it. And then so she said, well, can I be an affiliate? So she started promoting it when she wasn't doing her own classes. And then she launched BTBY. And of course, Kimra is amazing at Facebook ads. But like I said, Facebook changes things a lot and it has to stay updated. So she didn't want to have to deal with that. So she has me inside of Be True Brand You. My classes in there. I support the group. And so it's kind of a win-win. So she doesn't have to deal with that. And so she's actually been through my course and I'm one of the people that she learned ads from. That's why she has me in there. And it's a lot from groups and it's just connecting with different people. I was actually a student inside of Female Entrepreneur Association and people just started apparently at a live meetup in England was mentioning me to Carrie Green. And so I got an email one day. She was like, your name keeps coming up. I keep hearing about you. And she actually did a coaching session with me. And then she hired me to do her ads for a little while. But her ads are rocking. So so I helped her for like a couple months. And then I was like, you know what, you got this. And she loves doing them. She's like an ad geek too. And so we love to talk Facebook ads. So I helped her for a while. And then she was like, let's do interviews and get you in there. So I did some trainings for it. And I'm actually, should be this summer, updating the ads bundle inside of FEA as well. And similar thing with Melanie Duncan's program. I was just in there and they were like, okay, who does ads? And people recommended me. And so I had a training in there too. So
the note is be in the right place.
Hang out in groups.
Connections.
And help people.
And be truly a value and a help to people. So be in the right places and make those connections with people online. She said through Facebook groups, making connections and being known for something. Oh my goodness. We talk about this so
down.
much.
Niche down to take off.
Niches. Be known for something. It makes it so much easier when someone's trying to recommend you for something if you are that person. And the next question I want to know is how can I get an affiliate link? As many people ask me about Facebook ads. I said, that's my magic word, people. The word of 2016 is affiliate link. I'll ask about that off air. But I was like, is it possible? And I didn't ask about this because for me, I know that's something that's definitely missing from my programs, talking about Facebook ads. But I don't like to talk about it because I don't feel fully comfortable with it. So I love having someone else to be able to talk to about it. And yes, we will talk about that.
I have people like Kimra that put my digital class inside of their program. And then I actually have some business coaches that they're like, you know what, my clients, they have got to figure out Facebook ads, but I'm not the girl to do it. So then I actually have some coaches that have high ticket programs that will gift a session to their students. So they'll buy a session from me and then gift it to their students. Or if they don't want to do that, then they just refer them.
These are all good ideas for the future. How many people would like you get Facebook ads training and you get Facebook ads training? Oh my goodness. I think that would be extremely beneficial to some of my clients. Thank you for giving me something new to add to the program. Okay, Monty, you get the last comment and then we're going to end it. We're going to end it tonight. Thank you so much for being on the show. You get the last comment.
Okay, I want you to go straight home after this question, okay? No stopping, getting coffee, just go straight home because I know you guys are ready to wrap it up. And I'm sorry, I got to pick your brains. If there's anybody intelligent on here, I'm going to pick their brains. Okay, I got business that's international, of course, right? We cater to customers all over the planet. And in my Facebook ads campaign, I chose right now. I got 3 countries, I think, but my customers are all over the place, right? Does Facebook charge you more for international reach as compared to how does that work? Because I did notice a difference. I added like one additional country. I think I added Australia to United States and Canada, and I didn't see any difference in the charges. So.
Yeah, so the cost will vary a little bit country to country, but it varies advertiser to advertiser too. So a lot of countries, like you could easily add together US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. There's a lot of countries that they're about the same on ad cost. And then just check your individual stats. Facebook will break it down by country and tell you how much it was costing you per country. So if one's not doing so well, you'll know. The only caution I would have is be careful with the countries that you put together. You don't want to mix in countries that get really cheap reach, really cheap ad costs with other countries that might be a little bit higher, because what's going to happen is Facebook, it's testing everything and they tweak everything for you a little bit. So if you put in like the Philippines, you can get super cheap traffic to the Philippines. So what's going to happen is Facebook is going to go, oh, well, we're getting, really cheap impressions to the Philippines, push all the traffic there, and then they'll ignore like the US and Canada and Australia because you're getting cheap traffic. So if you want to target a country that's getting cheaper traffic, and you can kind of think of it a little bit like GDP of a country. So think of like more affluent countries versus ones that are maybe not so affluent, is one way, because I don't have exact numbers on which ones are more expensive or not. But if you have a country that doesn't, that's getting the cheaper traffic and it's kind of sucking up all the traffic, and you're like, oh, I really still want to advertise to these other countries, just separate them out. You can run more than one ad set, more than one targeting group. So you would target some countries in one and other countries in another one, and that would take care of that problem.
That sounds convoluted. Okay. All right.
Yeah. But just run a couple of ads, basically, is what I'm saying. Run one ad that targets some countries and one that targets others. But if you're doing US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, you could put all of those together. Shouldn't be a problem.
Okay. I guess you can't figure out real time how much it's going to cost. You have to wait till after the fact to see the results, I guess.
Give it at least 24 to 72 hours to run. To get enough information, and then start looking at your stats and seeing what's happening. Because you need some good data to work with. Right. And so you reach at least 1,000 people before you start making a decision. Because if you've only reached, that's a problem I see, is somebody will spend like $4 and then they're like, oh my God, it's bombing, nothing's happening. But the thing is, they've only reached a couple hundred people, and it's just not enough data to work with. And it takes 24 hours for Facebook to kind of dial in an ad. They will say that it takes at least 24 hours to dial it in. So don't just run it for a couple of hours and give up. Run it for at least 24 hours to get some data and see what happens. But preferably more like 48 to 72 hours.
Okay. Thanks again. All right.
Thank you so much.
I'll see if I can find you, Julie, so maybe we can work together on this.
Well, we posted her information. You can go to her website. And for her opt-in, let me see. Can you post the link to your website, sociallyalign.com? Just so I have it right here. I'm going to post it again, too. You can find her at sociallyalign.com to get some more information.
Okay, thanks again.
Feedback about Facebook ads. It's right there. Voila. Well, I tried to post it. Did it go? Let's see. It's not going through. But you can go to her website, Socially Aligned. She has it there, fb.com, Socially Aligned.
Yeah, that's the Facebook page.
The Facebook page, and connect with her. And connect with her on Blab again. Maybe we'll have some more, like all the Facebook ads folks coming to do some awesome Blabs. Thank you so much for all of the information about branding, Facebook ads, target audience, selling products, having digital products. All of these things have been absolutely amazing and beneficial to the audience. Make sure you give Julie some last minute props. And I want you guys to have a great night. And we'll see you on the next episode of Brand on Blab. Bye.